they became friends, but I would leave, sorry. I got just something in my throat.
Pulling him a clinton.
He doesn't blabber.
I have, my daughter was already in college. After the first year, we actually moved to New York in order so I could be a dad and a husband because I was too far away. The first season, we didn't know if the show was going to make it. I couldn't move from Los Angeles, uproot my family to go where the show was shooting, because what if it wasn't successful? When we went to Comic-Con, we had shot our first season. We didn't know if we were going to be picked up, but we knew when we were at Comic-Con, when we saw, it was the episode that was screened was Claudia. The first episode that Allison was the third episode after the pilot, fourth episode of the show. And we had, an audience about half this size, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
maybe
Most of them were
less.
like, is this the
Yeah.
Eureka? Is this Eureka?
Because they were like huge, and they had been on the air a bit. But when they saw that show, we saw the reaction to that show, to that. It was, we kind of knew, and I remember calling home and saying, we got to move. This show's going to last a while. So I missed my daughter because she was in college when the show started its second season. And suddenly Allison came on. She was there. And every time I had this other daughter, and it was also a colleague. It was really interesting for me because at the same time as there was this huge age difference, and we had that father-daughter thing was written for us. It was also in real life, naturally happened. But also, I had an equal on so many levels. So I'm looking at this very young person, but that's what my favorite moment is in the last season, we had a two-hander talking about an argument about your sister's character.
Yeah. And
you were really angry. And we decided, they shot it, but Jack wasn't happy with it, and then we reshot it because he said, you two are so good together in a two-shot that I want to reshoot this so that you can overlap each other and so that you can add, because we had a shorthand with each other. I had so much exposition, just as much as these two were together every day. Allison and I were together almost every day that we were shooting. And we developed a shorthand so that we could get quickly through a scene and get rid of the exposition, traded exposition, to the point where...
Sorry, I'm fighting with Eddie's head to be able to make eye contact with you.
I'm gonna go up front. I'm going for it.
Anyway, that was the thing that got me, and I never told you, I guess. It was that after we finished that, I knew that was maybe going to be our last two-hander in the show. I felt it was just delicious. It was a perfect thing for us as colleagues,
Feelers.
Look at that punum. So there you have it.
We done?
Thanks for the question. Next.
Good night, Cleveland.
We've got another question right here. Hold on.
Hey everyone, thanks for coming. I appreciate the little show that good. I hope Sci-Fi finds it in their heart to make a movie. I'd like to ask you about the artifacts. Was there your favorite artifact that was scripted, one that you personally couldn't resist touching, or anything that happened
Wait. They came up with this, wait. They created the most, there was a catchphrase on our show, and it was, you stupid asshole. And the reason that it was a catchphrase, we said this to people, whenever, so for example, if somebody just fucked up a line, we'd go, you stupid asshole. Where that started was, we're sitting around the table, and Jack was so excited, he said, look, we created a brand new, this is Claudia's finally getting her own
black and gold and the horns and all.
And they created this incredible unlike our plain-looking Farnsworths. Her communication device had gold filigree, and it had little buttons. Just one second, it was quite kind of beautiful. And brought it to the table, and Eddie was like looking at it, going, wow. We passed it along, it's so beautifully made. And Eddie goes, what is this?
Okay. right before
When
a
you
take.
say can't resist touching, you go, you broke it.
I broke it!
And I went, it was silence. It was just awful. He was like shocked, and I went, you stupid asshole. I was dead serious.
Yeah.
I was not kidding. I was angry. So yeah, when you say couldn't resist touching, you're talking about him.
Everything. Touched everything.
There's actually a line.
Stop touching me.
There's actually a line in the very last episode where Micah says, "Why did you do?" You know, when we're tap dancing, and Pete says, "I see a button, I have to push it." And Jack wrote that specifically because, like, you know, he would have to come in, like when we go to different locations, and he'd go, "Okay, cover that, move that, put a sign on that. You need to no, you got to cover that up. All right, will the police be called if he touches that?" So I don't know, man. You know, it's like I don't know what that is.
Because you're a stupid.
Favorite artifacts? I don't know. What's yours, man? Like, there were so many. I took home Sylvia Plath's typewriter. I loved Jimi Hendrix's guitar because it was one of the opportunities I got to play guitar on screen. But also I'll never forget my first artifact, which was Redicus's compass that was keeping Claudia's brother in an interdimensional space. You know, the show was brand new to me. It was a new world. I didn't understand this mythology. They showed me this compass, and it was gorgeous. It was so heavy, and it had all of these. I mean, I don't think you even saw on the show all the different things that it could do.
That was brass and copper and mahogany
And Franco designed it, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, and
$12,000 prop.
that was amazing.
The writer of the episode has it on his mantle.
Yeah, no, the set design and the props were in many ways the unsung heroes of our show, because we were, let's face it, we were Raiders of the Lost Ark. We had that warehouse. We were going after artifacts. The artifacts had to look authentic, and the creation of the steampunk warehouse, as Eddie said, was a character for us. So that I remember coming onto the set in the pilot, the very first time I went onto that Artie's set, and I just went, okay, no acting required. I just have to show up here. It was such a beautiful thing. And he was just an amazing presence, Franco, our production designer. A wonderful man with an Italian accent and a great
He
presence.
literally was Geppetto, right?
Yeah, he was like Geppetto.
He was totally Geppetto.
Wasn't he? He was just a...
It's remarkable.
Yeah, he was. And it made us feel good as actors to have that care.
He was always so excited to come in and share what he'd created.
Yeah.
I make this beautiful thing. When we finally saw Claudia's room, he pulled me aside and he was so excited to tell me that he thought he came up with this character trait for Claudia that I hadn't even thought about. So that Claudia's room, you probably didn't even see it, it was covered in Polaroids of the Badlands. Because of course, young kid from the street who's like moving into this strange new warehouse family is going to document the world around her. It was just such a great, insightful little taste of a character that Franco came up with. So, yeah, he was a genius.
Yeah.
He's not dead, by the way. He's
Still is a genius.
He's still a genius.
Joanne, what was your favorite artifact?
Me?
Yes. Little old me.
I don't know, there were so many. I've been asked this question and I haven't come up with an answer in 6 years. There's so many episodes. We were talking about the body switch episode today. The telenovela. The telenovela was so much fun. I was terrified because I don't speak Spanish. And we had to learn, we were taking tap dancing lessons, which, I don't know, I'm a pretty horrible dancer. I was terrified. And it ended up being so much fun.
Did I ever tell you this? You got so much grief from Jack for not going to tap dancing lessons.
No, that was him.
He came.
I got
He
grief.
didn't go, I went.
You did go.
Yeah, I know you can't tell, but I did go.
You know what I did? You know what I did? I went, because she's brilliant tap dancer.
That's not, I had great teachers. No, I really can't. But the teachers that they gave me were phenomenal.
Okay, but
So-
compared to the rest of us.
Okay, yes, you know what? Compared to the rest of them, I am a genius tap dancer.
So here's what happened to me. I never told you this, because I got all this praise for, you know, learning the Spanish and doing this stuff. But I didn't take any lessons, and I'm fast study. But when I went to the dancing, I took tap classes when I was in my 20s. I had to do a musical, and I remember learning the time step not very well. And now, 40 pounds heavier than that, I go into this tap dance lesson with this woman, and she's looking at me, and I could see the expression on her face. It was like this. She was looking at my feet like this, as I was trying to do it in slow motion. And then she looked up like this at my face. Because what was in her eyes was, there isn't enough time. And I saw the expression on her face, and I said, you know what? I said, can I ask you a favor? Don't mention anything to anybody that I'm not coming to any more classes. Now, I'm just going to fake it. Believe me, it'll look fine. And I knew we could just fake it. I knew they were going to.
I had so much fun tap dancing though. It was great. I just went for it. Yeah.
Well,
All
if you-
vanity
if you
went right
watch-
out the window.
If you watch the cutaways, like
Those are real
okay, you
dancers.
see the real people going got, and then like the wide, because we're always good in the wide.
We're great in the wide.
That's your
You can
epitaph.
see
That's
us
the one.
actually do it. Like my sister was like, "Oh my god, you are bad. You're
Just